Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some book suggestions. I know that it can be really hard to find a good book to read, so I decided to share with you guys some books that I've read recently that I enjoyed. Let's get started. The first book that I wanted to recommend is quite topical. It's called Ban This Book by Ellen Gratz, and it's about this girl who starts a secret library in her locker full of all the books that the school board has banned. The locker library becomes really popular and she has to be really careful that she doesn't get caught. And in the end, she finds a really cool way to get all the banned books back in the school library. This is an interesting book and I'd recommend it for 10 to 14-year-olds. Next is a series by Nova Wheatman, and these are choose your own happy ever after books. So they each stand alone, and I've got one here. This one's a hot cold summer. So there are pick a path stories, which I find really interesting, so you get to choose what happens to your character. So there's usually a big decision at the start of the book and then lots of little ones along the way. So for example, in this one, it's like, does she tell the truth or does she keep quiet? So they're really fun books to read and I'd suggest them for 10 to 15-year-old girls. Next series I'm going to talk about, I'm sure you've all at least heard of, and that's the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. These are great books and anyone from a 10-year-old to an adult would enjoy these books. Some of them are quite long, so if you want a light read, you can get illustrated versions. The next series that I'll suggest is called Time Riders by Alex Scarrow. So this is a series of science fiction novels which are really good. So it's about these three kids. One should have died in the Titanic in 1912. One should have died in a plane crash in 2010, and one should have died in a fire in 2026. However, moments before their death, someone rescues and recruits them as time riders. So their job is to stop time travel destroying the world, and they have to go on different missions to stop people using time travel for the worse. I'd recommend these books for 10 to 16-year-olds. Next up is a book that I just finished and really enjoyed, and that is called Murder is Bad Manners, or the English version is called Murder Most Unladylike. And it's about these two girls who are at a boarding school in England, and they find that their gym teacher is dead. And so they go and call for help, but when they come back, the body is missing. So not only do they need to solve the murder mystery, they also need to prove that there was a murder. So it was really interesting and suspenseful, and there was a big plot twist at the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you. There is also a sequel to this book called Poison is Not Polite. These books are great for 10 to 14-year-olds. Next up is a story called Wonder, and this is about a boy called August who has been homeschooled his whole life because he has a facial deformity. But then he starts middle school and he has to deal with all these bullies and find who his real friends are. And it's quite a sad book, but it's also really interesting and has a really good meaning behind it. So I'd recommend this book for kids 8 to 14 years old. I'm now going to talk about a series called Cantwood Crest. Now this is another boarding school series, and it's about these girls and boys who are at boarding school, and it's all about horses. So if you like horse books, then this is a great series for you. So it's about the problems they have with their horses and competitions, but also problems in their everyday personal lives. I'd recommend this book for 10 to 14-year-old girls. Another book I recently read is called Prisoner of Ice and Snow. So at the start of the book, this girl is arrested for attempted murder of the prince. So she is sent to a prison. However, this is exactly what she wants to happen, because her sister was also sent to this prison, but she believes her sister has been framed, so she intends to break them both out from the inside, but no one's ever escaped the prison in over 300 years. And overall, it's just a really good book. The last book I'm going to suggest is one of my favorites, and it's called The Length of a String. It's about this girl who's adopted, and she finds her great-grandma's diary from 1941, and the diary is about her escaping Poland and traveling to America. So every second chapter is the great-grandma's diary, and every other chapter is the present day about this adopted girl who's having her bat mitzvah, and I would recommend this for 10 to 15-year-olds. So that is all the books I'm going to recommend for today, but before I finish this video, I'm just going to share a few of my favorite authors. So we've got Jacqueline Wilson, who has written so many books, Kathy Cassidy, who has written a great series called The Chocolate Box Girls, Jeff Kennedy, who's written the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, and Jean Eyre. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and have gotten some great books that you're going to go read now. All of these books should be available online or at your local library. Please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!